download and install Java for Windows operating system. First of all, open your web browser and search for download Java Jdk. Most probably the first result will be appear here from www.oracle.com. So I am going to click on it. Then here you can see at the time of making this video, Java 17 is the latest version of Java. Also it is the LTS version, which means long-term support version. When I scroll down, we can see Java 11 and Java 8 available for download. But in this video, I am going to download latest version of Java, which is Java 17. Also, as mentioned before, in this video, I am going to show you how to download and install Java for Windows operating system. So I select Windows. Then I just click on the URL under x64 installer. Now you can see Java Jdk is downloading. Okay, now I'm going to install Java Jdk. This is the Java Jdk executable file. I just click on it. Now you can see the initial setup window. So I am going to just click on the next button. Then you can see Java default installation path. In here I am not going to change it. So I click on the next button. Okay, now you can see Java Jdk is installing. Okay, after the installation is complete, open new command prompt. For that, search cmd in search bar and click on the command prompt. Now we are going to check Java version, so I write Java -- version, then hit enter button. Now you can see it display Java 17 as the version, which means we installed Java successfully to our Windows operating system. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about how to download and install Java for Windows operating system. Next video, we discuss about how to download and install Java for Mac OS. Download and install Intellij IDEA for Windows operating system. First of all, open your web browser and search for Intellij IDEA download. Most probably the first result will be appear here from www.jetbrains.com. So I am going to click on it. As mentioned before, I am going to download and install Intellij IDEA for Windows operating system. So I select Windows. Then you can see there are two options, which are Unlimited and Community. Unlimited is the paid version, Community is the free version. In this course, we use Community version. So I click on the download button under the Community version. Then you can see we are redirected to another page and download is start shortly. Okay guys, now I am going to install Intellij IDEA for Windows operating system. This is the Intellij IDEA executable file, so I click on it. Then you can see initial setup window of Intellij IDEA. Then I am going to just click on the next button. Then you can see Intellij IDEA default installation path. In here I am not going to change it, so I click on the next button. Then I make a tick to create a desktop shortcut for Intellij IDEA. Then I click on the next button. Finally, I just click on the install button. Now you can see Intellij IDEA is installing on the Windows operating system. After the completing the installation process, I tick on the Run Intellij IDEA Community Edition and click on the Finish button. Now you can see Intellij IDEA is opening. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about how to download and install Intellij IDEA for Windows operating system. How to create a Java project using Intellij IDEA. This is the welcome screen of the Intellij IDEA. We can create a new project by click on the New Project button. Now you can select the language that you want to develop. I select Java. Also, you can see the project SDK selected here as Java 17. Because we already installed Java 17. Then I click on the next button. Here you can create a project from a template, but I do not select a project template because I am going to make a project from scratch. So I click on the next button. Now you can give a name for the project. Also, you need to select a location where the project is stored. I recommend you create a new folder for every project to organize projects properly. I will show you how to do that. In macOS, I click on this three dot button. Then I create a new folder and name it as Hello World because I will call Hello World program. Then I select the folder that I created and click on the open button. Now you can see the project name also changed as Hello World automatically. In Windows, I click on this three dot button. Then you can see a new window like this. Here I create a new folder and name it as Hello World because I will code the Hello World program. Then I click on the OK button. Now you can see project name also changed as Hello World automatically. OK. Finally, click on the Finish button. Then the project is created. Now you can see the project pane on the left hand side. So I click on the little greater than sign. Then you can see the Hello World folder expanded like this. Here you can see .idea folder that contains Intellij ideas sort of working files. Also, we can see the .iml file. Not only that, there is src folder. We write all the code in the src folder. I will show you how to write codes in next video. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about how to create a project using Intellij IDEA. In next video, I will show you how to write our first Java program. The Hello World program. To do that, first right click on the src folder, click on the new, then select Java class. Now we have to give a name for the Java class. Here we are going to code the Hello World program. So I give the name for the Java class as Hello World. Then press enter button. After that, the Hello World class is created and some codes are automatically generated as public class Hello World. I will explain what means by a class in future videos. Okay, now we have to write the main method. Remember that you must write every method between curly braces of the class. According to that, here we need to write the main method in the Hello World class. So I write the main method in between the curly braces of Hello World class. The syntax of the main method is public static void main parenthesis string square bracket args. Then we need to put curly braces under the main method like this. If you haven't any idea about a class and the main method, don't worry, I will explain those things in future videos. Just keep in your mind how to write the main method. Okay, now we have to write code for print Hello World. In Java, we can print anything that you want to print in the console using system.out.println command. So I write this command. The only thing you have to do is put what you want to print between the parentheses of println. Here we are going to print Hello World. So I write Hello World. Now you can see Hello World in red color. That means error. Because Hello World is a string. So we can't write Hello World without double quotes. So we need to add double quotes to the Hello World like this. If you don't know about string, don't worry, I will explain it in future videos. Okay, this is the program to print Hello World. Now we have to run this application. First of all, we have to build it. To do that, click on the build option in the menu bar. Then select build project. Now your project is building. After the building project is successful, you have to run it. To do that, click on the run option in the menu bar and select run. Then we have to tell which file want to run. Here we want to run the Hello World file. So I select Hello World. Now you can see it prints Hello World in the console. Awesome. Okay, this is how to write a program to print something in the console. Okay guys, in this video we discuss how to write our first Java program. In next video, we will discuss part of a Java program. We discuss about parts of a Java program. Generally, there are 3 different parts of a Java program. I use the Hello World program that we coded before to explain parts of a Java program. First one is class. It should be one of the very first lines in the file and always start the same way. Public class and then the exact name of the Java file including capitalization. You can see the main method and all other codes within the Hello World class. So we can call class as the outermost layer of a Java program. Okay, next the main method. The main method is the starting point of a Java program. It tells to the computer which lines of code want to run. Without a main method, we can't execute a Java program. Because when executing a Java program, compiler call to the main method to start the Java program. So, Java program cannot start without a main method. Also, it has a specific keyword set: public, static, void, main, parenthesis, string, square bracket, args. That is the keyword set for main method. Then you can put curly braces under the main method. Okay, finally, statements. Statements are code in a Java program to do specific tasks or set of tasks. In other words, statement means lines of code to achieve the purpose of the application. For an example, here we wrote a Java program. That task is print hello world in the console. To achieve that, we wrote println command. So, this is the statement of this program. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about parts of a Java program. In next video, we will discuss naming conventions. So, we discuss about Java naming convention. First, I will explain how to name a class. Every class name should be start with a letter, not from a number. If the class name is a single word, should be capitalize the first letter and other letters should be simple letters. For an example, vehicle, animal. You can see here in vehicle class, the first letter V is capital and other letters are simple. Also in animal class, the first letter A is capital and other letters are simple. If the class name contains set of words, should be capitalize the first letter of each word and other letters should be simple letters. For an example, hello world. You can see here there are two words, hello and world. Also, the first letter of hello, H is capital and other letters are simple. The next word is world. The first letter of world, W is capital and other letters are simple. Right. Okay. That is how to name a class. Next, I will explain how to name a method. Every method should be start with a letter and first letter of the method name should be a simple letter. If I explain further, if the method name contains only a single word, first letter and every letters in the method name should be simple letters. For an example, main, sum. But if the method name contains multiple words, the first letter of the first word should be simple and in other words, the first letter should be capital and other letter should be simple. For an example, add numbers method. You can see in add numbers method, there are two words, add and numbers. Add is the first word that contains only simple letters. And the second word, numbers, the first letter is capital and other letters are simple. Okay, that is how to write a name of a method. Next, I will explain how to name a variable. Variable name same as the method name. For an example, if the variable name contains only a single word, the first letter and every letters in the variable name should be simple letters. For an example, number, greeting. But if the variable name contains multiple words, the first letter of the first word should be simple and in other words, first letter should be capital and other letters should be simple. For an example, number 1, number 2. You can see in number 1 variable, there are two words, number and 1. In the first word, number contains only simple letters. And the second word, 1, the first letter is capital and other letters are simple. Right. That is how to name a variable. Okay guys, in this video we discussed about naming conventions. In next video, I will explain about comments. Video, we will discuss comments. What are the comments? Comments are notes written in the source code by the programmer to describe the code. When compiling the Java application, they are ignored by the compiler. This means comments used only as a message for humans to understand the code lines. There are two types of comments, single line comments and multi-line comments. Okay, let me show you how to write a single line comments. First, you need to type 2 forward slashes. Then you can write your comment like this. Okay, that is the single line comment. Next, I will show you how to write multiple line comments. To do that, first you need to type 1 forward slash and star. Then you can write your comment like this. Finally, type 1 star and forward slash respectively. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about comments and comments type. In next video, we will discuss about escape sequences. To explain that, I use the previous example, that is the hello world program. Here you can see we write hello world with the double quotation. But double quotes did not print in the console because we use this double quotation to represent hello world as a string. But if you want to print hello world with the double quotation, how to do that? Can we add another double quotation like this? No. You can see when we add another double quotes, it gives an error. So, how do we print hello world with the double quotation? You can use escape sequences to do that. Here, we need to add the double quotation to the hello world. So, I can use backslash double quote escape sequence. So, I add this escape sequence to the hello world like this. Okay, now I'm going to run this application to the test. Here, you can see the hello world print with the double quotation. Okay, next I'm going to take another example. If we need to add more space between hello and world, we have the backslash simple t escape sequence. It works as a tab key because it makes more space. To demonstrate that, I add backslash t escape sequence between hello and world like this. Then I run it. Now you can see more space than before between hello and world. If you want to add more space, we can put backslash t escape sequence more than once. To check that, I rerun this application. Here you can see now have more space between hello and world than before. Okay, now I am going to discuss another escape sequence. If you want to print hello world in 2 lines, how to do that? We can use 2 println methods for that. Like this. But the problem is we have to write 2 lines of code. But if we can do this in a single line, that's great. We can do that using backslash n escape sequence. The only thing we have to do is add the backslash n escape sequence between hello and world like this. Then run it. Now you can see hello and world print in 2 lines, right? That is the backslash n escape sequence. Okay guys, in this video we discussed about escape sequences with few examples. In the next chapter, we will discuss about variables. So we will discuss about variables. Variables are used to store values in compute memory. To that, we need to reserve some space in memory. Therefore, allocating memory space to store value is called a variable declaration. Also, in Java, each variable has specific data type. For an example, string, integer, float, double. Right. In this video, we discuss about what mean by a variable and what is a variable declaration. From next video, I will explain some data types with examples. We will discuss about char data type. Char data type variables are used to store a single character. That could be a letter, a number or symbol. To explain that, I created a new Java project. Okay. Now I am going to declare a char data type variable. Remember, Java is a strongly typed programming language. So, when declaring a variable in Java, first we need to write data type. Here, we are going to declare a char variable. So, I type char like this, then keep a space. Now we can give a name for this variable. For an example, here I am going to assign a letter. So, I name this variable as letter. Then add semicolon at end of the code line. Okay, that is how to declare a variable. Then we can add values to that variable. When assign a value for this variable, first you need to write the name of the variable. So I write variable name again, letter. Next, add an equal mark. Then you can add a value for this variable like this. But you can see here, the letter A is in red color. That means error. Because this is a char variable, we can't assign a char value like this. We need to add single quotations to the value. Now the error is gone, right? Now you know how to assign a value for a variable. Okay, now we have to check if the value is assigned correctly. The way is to check that get an output of the variable value. We all know how to print a value in the console. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation letter command to get an output. Okay, now I am going to run this application. Here you can see it does not print variable value. It prints letter as a word. Why? Because here we add double quotation to the letter. Remember, if you want to print a variable value in the console, please write the variable name between parentheses without double quotation. So I remove the double quotations. Then I run this application again. Okay, as you can see, the variable value printed in the console. Awesome. Okay guys, here we discuss about the char variable, how to declare a variable, and how to assign a value for the variable. In next video, we will discuss about a string data type. We'll discuss about a string data type. String data type variables are used to store a collection of characters. That could be letters, numbers, or symbols. For an example, Kamal, number 10, and this symbol set. Okay, now I am going to declare a string variable. To do that, first I write data type as string. Then press the space button to make a space. Then I need to give a name for this variable. Here I am going to use this variable to assign a person name. So I name this variable as person name. Then add semicolon at end of the quote line. Okay, that is how to declare a string variable. Then I have to assign a value for this variable. For that, first type the variable name again and write an equal mark. Here I am going to assign Kamal as the value. So I type Kamal like this. Now you can see Kamal in red color. That means error because this is a string variable. So we can't assign a value for a string variable like this. We need to assign value within double quotations. So I add double quotation to Kamal like this. Now you can see the error is gone. Right, that is how to declare a string variable and assign a value. Okay, now we have to check it. To do that, I write system.out.println parenthesis and the variable name person name command to get an output. Then I run it. Now you can see it print Kamal. That means we declare and assign value for the string variable correctly. Okay guys, in this video we discussed about a string variable. In the next video, we will discuss about integer data type. We'll discuss about integer data type. Integer data type variables are used to assign whole numbers. That could be a positive or negative number without decimals. For an example, 12, 31, minus 33, minus 17. Right, now I'm going to declare integer variable. To do that, first type the data type, int and keep a space. Right, then we have to give a name for this variable. Here, I use this variable to assign any number because here I am just going to explain about integer variable. So I give name as any number. Then add a semicolon at end of the quote line. Okay, now we have to assign a value. Also I mentioned before, integer means whole number without decimal. According to that, we couldn't be assigned decimal values. To check that, I assign 12.55. Now you can see a red line. That means error. Then I remove the decimal part. Now the error is gone. So we can understand integer variable able to use only for whole numbers. It cannot be whole decimal numbers. Next, I write println command to get an output. Then I run this application. You can see it print 12. Okay, that is the integer data type. Right. Now I will show you the maximum and minimum value can hold for integer variable. First, I will check the maximum value. To do that, I declare a new integer variable and name it as maximum value. Then keep a space and add an equal mark. Then type integer dot max value like this. Now we need to take an output to the check what is the maximum value. So I write system.out.println parenthesis maximum value. Before run this application, I comment previous println command. Then I run this application. Now you can see the maximum value which int can hold. Okay, next let me show you the minimum value can hold for integer variable. To that, I declare new integer variable and name it as minimum value. Then keep a space and add an equal mark. Then type integer dot minimum value like this. Right. Now we need to take an output of minimum value. To do that, I write system.out.println minimum value command to get an output. Then I run this application. In first line, you can see the maximum value, and in the second line, you can see the minimum value can hold for integer variable. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about integer variable, the maximum and minimum value that can hold. In next video, we will discuss about long data type. I can call this as big brother of integer because long variables only can hold whole numbers like integer, but it can hold more values than integer. That is why I call it as the big brother of integer. Okay, like previous video, I am going to declare a long variable. So I write long as the data type, then keep a space and name it as any number. Finally, add a semicolon at end of the code line. Next, I assign 250. Finally, I write println command to get an output. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After the run this application, you can see it print 250 like this. Okay, then I will show you the maximum and minimum value of long data type variable can hold. First, I will show you the maximum value. To do that, I declare a new long variable and name it as maximum value. Then keep a space and add an equal mark. Next, I assign the maximum value of the long data type like this. Finally, I write println command to get an output. Before run this application, I comment previous println command. Then I run this application. Now you can see the maximum value which a long data type variable can hold. Okay, next I will show you the minimum value. So I declare a new long variable, name it as minimum value, then keep a space, add an equal mark and assign the minimum value of the long data type like this. Finally, write the println command to get an output of minimum value. Okay, now I run this application. Here in the first line, you can see the maximum value which long data type variable can hold. And in the second line, you can see the minimum value which long data type variable can hold. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about long data type and the maximum and minimum value that can hold. In next video, we will discuss about float data type. Float is a data type that can hold decimal numbers. Suppose you need to work with decimal numbers in your application, you can use float data type. Okay, now I will show you how to declare a float variable and how to use it in our program. To explain that, I will divide the number 50 by number 9. Then that answer assign it to a float variable. So first of all, I declare a float variable. To do that, I write data type float, keep a space, then name it as float answer and put a semicolon at the end of the code line. Then I am going to assign the answer of 50 divided by 9. So I write the float variable name again, put an equal mark, then type 50 divided by 9 calculation like this. If I explain what happened is, the first 50 divided by 9 and the answer of this calculation assigned to the float answer variable. Okay, then I write a println command to get an output of that answer. So I write system.out.println parenthesis float answer command. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, you can see it print 5.0. But we all know the answer should be contains with decimals like 5.555. So what happened to the decimal part? To explain that, I declare another float variable and name it as any number. Then I assign number 6. Next, I write a println command to get an output of this variable. Before run this application, I comment previous println command. Then I run this. Here you can see it gives output as 6.0. But we didn't assign 6.0. I only assigned 6 but print 6.0. The thing is, the float is a variable that used for whole decimal numbers. So when assigning an integer or whole number, it automatically converts to a decimal number. That is why we can see the number 6 with decimal 0. Here, I tried to explain what happened when assigning an integer value to a float variable. Okay, so what is the relationship between this example and previous calculation? Okay, let's move to the previous calculation. Here, you can see both 50 and 9 are integer values. So, the data type of the answer of this calculation is equal to the integer. That is the nature of programming. Also, we know integer data type variable can't hold the decimal part. So, after this calculation, answer give as 5. It does not contain decimals. Then it assigned into the float answer variable. Then as previous example, it converts to decimal number. That is why the answer of this calculation print as 5.0. Okay, now we have a problem. How to get the answer with decimals? Because we need to know the correct answer. The only thing we have to do is add a simple f end of the calculation like this. That is known as casting. If I explain what happened is, the first both 50 and 9 are converted to a float data type before the calculation. Then answer of this calculation should be float. According to that, answer should be contains the decimal part. Okay, now I am going to run this application. Before that, I remove this and uncomment this println command. Then I run this application. Now you can see it gives output with decimal part. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about float data type and some techniques need to follow when working with the float data type. In next video, we will discuss about double data type. Double data type. I can call it as the big brother of float data type because double data type also used to assign decimal values, but its capacity is higher than float. That is why I call it as the big brother of float data type. I use the same example which used in the float data type video, so I declare a double data type variable and name it as double answer. Then I assign the answer of dividing number 50 by 9 like this directly. Next, I write a println command to get an output of the answer. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, you can see it print output as 5.0. So, like the previous video, here we need to cast this to double to get the answer with decimal part. Simply, we can cast by adding a simple d at the end of the calculation like this. Then I run this application. Here you can see it gives output with decimal part. Right, that is the double data type. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about double data type and how to cast a number to double data type. From next chapter, we will do exciting things using these variables operators. such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In the first part, I will discuss about addition. Addition means adding some values to another value. Here I am going to demonstrate how to add values in Java. To do that, I declare two int variables and name them as number1 and number2. Then I assign value 45 to number1 variable and value 55 to number2 variable. Next, I declare another int variable to assign the answer and name it as addition answer. Okay, then put an equal mark. Then we need to assign the addition of number 1 and number 2 for this variable. So I do that like this. Here the value of addition answer should be the addition of number 1 and number 2. To check that, I write command system.out.println parenthesis addition answer to get an output. Finally, I run this application. Here you can see it gives output as 100. That's the correct answer. Okay, that is the addition. Subtraction. Subtraction is a mathematical operation to find the difference between two values. Now I will show you how to do it in Java. To do that, I declare two variables as previous and assign value 40 to number 1 variable and assign value 60 to number 2 variable. Then I declare another new variable to assign the subtraction of these values and name it as subtraction answer. Next, we need to assign the subtraction of these number 1 and number 2 variable. So I write subtraction answer equal number 2 minus number 1. Command to assign the subtraction of number 2 and number 1 to subtraction answer variable. Finally, I write an command to get an output system.out.println parenthesis subtraction answer. Right, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, here you can see it prints 20 as the subtraction of number 2 and number 1. That is the correct answer. So that is the subtraction. Multiplication. Multiplication is a process of calculating the total of one value multiplied by another value. So I am going to demonstrate that in Java. To do that, I declare two int variables as previous and name them as number 1 and number 2. Then we need to assign values to these variables. So I assign value 5 to number 1 variable and assign value 10 to number 2 variable. Then I declare another int variable and name it as multiplication answer. Then we need to assign the multiplication of number 1 and number 2 for multiplication answer variable. To that, I write multiplication answer equal number 1 multiplied by number 2. I used star mark to represent multiplication. Okay, then I write system.out.println parenthesis multiplication answer command to get an output. Okay, now I run this application. After run this application, it gives output as 50. That is the correct answer. Okay, that's the multiplication. Division. Division is the process of dividing a set of things into equal parts. Also, we can refer that as the opposite calculation of multiplication. Here, I am going to show you how to demonstrate division in Java. To do that, I declare two int variables as previous and name them as number 1 and number 2. Then I assign value 40 to number 1 variable and assign value 10 to number 2 variable. Then I am going to divide number 1 by number 2. Before that, I declare a new variable and name it as division answer. Finally, I write division answer equal number 1 divided by number 2 command to assign the answer for division answer variable. Then we need to write and println command to get an answer of division answer. So I write println command like this. Finally, I run this application. After run this application, you can see here it prints value 4. That is the correct answer. Okay, that is the division. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about basic operators. In next video, we will discuss about operator and operand. Operand and expression. To explain that, I take this formula int total equal number 10 plus number 3. First, let me show you operand in this formula. Operands are value or variables in the formula. Here, number 10 and number 3 are values in this formula. That means operands in this formula are number 10 and number 3. Okay, then I will show you operator in this formula. Operators are special symbols that represent arithmetic or logical computation. Here, I use this formula to find addition of number 10 and number 3. Also, addition represented by plus symbol. So, plus symbol is the operator in this formula. Next, I will show you what is the expression in this formula. The expression means a combination of operators and operands. According to that, here, expression is number 10 plus number 3. Okay, those are the operator, operand and expression. Next, I will take another example to explain further. The formula is int total equal number 1 multiplied by number 2. Suppose number 1 and number 2 are variables. Right. Okay. What are the operands in this formula? Operand means values or variable in a formula. According to that, number 1 and number 2 variables are operands in this formula. Right. What is the operator? Operator is a special symbol that represent mathematical or arithmetic computation. In this formula, star symbol represent the multiplication operator. According to that, star symbol is the operator in this formula. Okay, then what is the expression? Expression means combination of operators and operands. So, number 1 multiplied by number 2 is the expression in this formula. Okay guys, in this video we discussed about operator, operands and expression. In next video, we will discuss about modulus operator. The modulus operator is an arithmetic operator. It produces the integer remainder of a division that is denoted by percentage symbol in computer programming. Let me show you an example for the modulus operator. To do that, I created a new Java project and declared int variable and name it as remainder. Okay, now I am going to find the remainder when 40 divided by 3 and assign the remainder for the declared variable. So I write command remainder equal 40 modulus by 3. Finally, we need to check the answer. So I write command system.out.println parenthesis remainder. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, you can see it gives output number 1. That is the correct answer because we all know when 40 divided by 3, the remainder is 1. So, our application gives the correct answer. According to that, you can get an idea about the modulus operator. Okay, that is the modulus operator. In next video, we will discuss about pre-increment. Pre-increment operator used for increment value before use it. Also, pre-increment denoted by plus symbol. Let me show you how it works in Java. To do that, first I declare int variable and name it as any number. Then assign number 23. Then I declare another int variable to assign the incremented value of the any number variable and name it as incremented value. Next, I am going to do a pre-increment and assign it to the incremented value variable. So I write incremented value equal plus plus any number. Okay, then we need to check the value of incremented value. So I write system.out.println parenthesis incremented value to get an output. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, here you can see it print value 24. Here what happened is the value of the any number variable has been increased by 1 before assigned to the incremented value variable. Okay, that is the pre-increment. To check that further, we can do another pre-increment before assign it to the incremented value variable. So I write plus plus any number like this. As we discussed, after executing this code line, the value of any number variable should be 24. And before assign it to the incremented value variable, it should be increased to value 25. According to that, it should be give output as 25. To check that, I run this application. After run this application, here you can see it gives an output as 25. That means we understood correctly about pre-increment. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about pre-increment. In the next video, we will discuss about pre-decrement. Pre-decrement operator used for decrement value before use it. Also, pre-decrement is denoted by minus minus symbol. Okay, let me show you how it works in Java. To do that, first I declare int variable and name it as any number and assign number 17. Then I declare another int variable to assign the decremented value of the any number variable and name it as decremented value. Next, I am going to do a pre-decrement and assign it to the decremented value variable. So I write decremented value equal minus minus any number. Okay, then we need to check the value of decremented value. So I write system.out.println decremented value. Okay, then I'm going to run this application. After run this application, here you can see it prints value 16. Here what happened is the value of any number variable has been decreased by 1 before assigned to the decremented value variable. Okay, that is the pre-decrement. To check that further, I am going to do another pre-decrement before assign it to the decremented value variable. So I write minus minus any number like this. As we discussed, after executing this code line, the value of any number variable should be 16. And before assign it to the decremented value variable, it should be decreased to the value 15. According to that, it should give output as 15. To check that, I run this application. After run this application, here you can see it gives an output 15. That means we understood correctly about pre-decrement. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about pre-decrement. In next video, we will discuss about post-increment. Post-increment operator used for increment value after use it. Also, post-increment is denoted by plus plus symbol. Let me show you how it works in Java. To do that, first I declare int variable as previous video and name it as any number. Then assign value 35. Then I declare another int variable to assign the incremented value of the any number variable and name it as incremented value. Next, I am going to do a post increment and assign it to the incremented value variable. So I write incremented value equal any number plus plus. Do you remember in pre-increment and pre-decrement we wrote operator before any number variable. But in post-increment and post-decrement we should write operator after the variable. That is why here I wrote operator after the any number variable. Okay, then we need to check the value of incremented value. So I write system.out.println parenthesis incremented value to get an output. Then I run this application. Here you can see it give an output as 35. That is equal to the assigned value to the any number variable. That means is not increment the value. To check that, I write another println command to get an output of any number variable. Then I run this application. Now you can see incremented value variable give the output as 35, but any number variable provide the output as 36. So why incremented value variable not output 36? I explained before, post increment is an operator that increment the value after use current value. According to that, first assign the current value of any number variable to the incremented value variable. Then increment the value of any number variable. That is why incremented value variable give output as 35 and any number variable give output as 36. Okay, I hope you understand that. That is the post increment. To check that further, I'm going to do another post increment before assign it to the incremented value variable. So I write any number plus plus like this. As we discussed, after executing this code line, the value of any number variable should be 36. Then in next line, before increment the value of any number variable, it should assign into the incremented value variable because here we used post increment. Accordingly, the incremented value variable should give output as 36 and any number variable should give output as 37. Okay, to check that, I'm going to run this application. After run this application, here you can see incremented value variable gives output as 36. Any number variable gives output as 37. That means we understood correctly about post increment. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about post increment. In next video, we will discuss about post decrement. Post decrement. Post decrement operator used for decrement the value after use it. Also, post decrement is denoted by minus symbol. Let me show you how it works in Java. To do that, first I declare int variable and name it as any number. Then assign value 35. Then I declare another int variable to assign the decremented value of any number variable and name it as decremented value. Next, I'm going to do a post decrement and assign it to the decremented value variable. So I write decremented value equal any number minus. Okay, then we need to check the value of decremented value. So I write system.out.println parenthesis decremented value. Then I run this application. After run this application, you can see it give output as 35. That is equal to the assigned value to the any number variable. That means is not decrement the value. To check that, I write another println command to get an output of any number variable. Then I run this application. Now you can see decremented value variable give the output as 35, but any number variable provide the output as 34. So why decremented value variable not output 34? I explained before, post decrement is an operator that decrement the value after use it. Accordingly, first assign the current value of any number variable to the decremented value variable. Then decrement the value of any number variable. That is why decremented value variable give output as 35 and any number variable give output as 34. Okay, I hope you understand that. That is the post decrement. To check that further, we can do another post decrement before assign it to the decremented value variable. So I write any number minus like this. As we discussed, After executing this code line, the value of any number variable should be 34. Then in the next line, before decrement the value of any number variable, assign it to the decremented value variable, because here we use post decrement. Accordingly, the decremented value variable should give output as 34 and any number variable should provide output as 33. Okay, to check that, I run this application. Here you can see decremented value variable give output as 34. Any number variable gives output as 33. That means we understood correctly about post decrement. Okay guys, in this video we discussed about post decrement. In the next video, we will discuss about string concatenation. String concatenation. String concatenation is a process of combining a string with another string or value to form a single string. Let me show you how to do that in Java. First, I declare two string variables and name them as word1 and word2. Then I assign happy as a value to word1 variable and birthday as a value for word2 variable. Next, I am going to create a greeting message using word1 and word2 variable. To do that, we need a string concatenation. A string concatenation formula like addition formula. So I write word1 plus word2 to concatenate the strings. Then I update the command as a string greeting message equal word1 plus word2 for assign the concatenation of word1 and word2 variables to the greeting message variable. Next I write system.out.println parenthesis greeting message command to get an output. Now I run this application. After run this application, here you can see it gives output as happy birthday and it's a combination of word1 and word2 variables value. Also, we can't see a space between happy and birthday. So I add space like this. Then I rerun this application. Now you can see it output as happy birthday. Okay, that is the string concatenation. We will do more exciting things using string concatenation in future videos. Read user inputs. Why do we need user inputs? In previous videos, we did some calculations, but in every videos, we use values that are directly assigned to the variables. We didn't get input from users to do calculations. So, if we want to change values, we need to change the source code. That's not good because every software users don't know about Java, how to program a software. So, they don't know how to change values in the source code. So, we need a solution for that. Also, with that solution, the user should not interact with the source code because everyone doesn't know how to change values in the source code. That is the requirement for the take user inputs. That means user must enter values when running the application to perform calculations. I will show you how to do that in next video. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about user inputs and why do we need user inputs. From next video, we will discuss about read user input for different data types. User input as a string. Now, I have a problem. How to read user inputs? How to cache user input? To that, we need to import the scanner class into our programming class because it has all features to observe user input. So, how to import that? It's very simple. First, you need to write the import keyword top of the code lines. Import keyword used for import packages, classes and interfaces to our programming class. Right. Scanner class is in the java.util package. So I write java.util.scanner and put semicolon at end of the code line. Here you can see we imported scanner class to our programming class successfully. Okay, next I'm going to read user input as a string using this class. For an example, I will read a person name and output it in the console. Before the read user input, we need a variable to hold user input. So I declare a string variable and name it as person name. Then we need to create an object of the scanner class to use features in the scanner class to read user inputs. So I write capital S, simple CANNER scanner as the class name. Then keep a space and name it as input scanner. I gave this name to this object, but you can give any name if you want. Okay, then add an equal mark. Write the new keyword, keep a space, and write the class name as scanner again. Finally, add parentheses and put a semicolon at end of the code line. Okay, that is how to create an object of a class in Java. Then we need to tell to the program this object we will use for read user inputs. How to do that? It's very simple. Only thing we have to do is put system.in between parentheses like this. Okay, that is how to create an object of scanner class to read user inputs. Next, we need to read user input using this object and assign it to a variable. So, first I write variable name, person name, then put an equal mark and write the object name of the scanner class, input is scanner. Okay, here we will read user input as a string. In the scanner class, there are different methods for each data types. The method name for read user input as a string is next line. So I put a dot and write method name as next line. Then we need to check the user input. So I write system.out.println parenthesis person name to get an output of the user input. Then I run this application. Here you can see the cursor is blinking in the terminal because the program is waiting for user input. So I input Lucas as the person name. Then press the enter button. Now you can see in the second line it prints Lucas. That means I entered user input, successfully read and assigned it to the person name variable. But the program has some problems. The first one is when running the application, we can only see the cursor blinking. So users can't get an idea of what they need to do. So we need to inform users about what they need to do. To do that, we can print a message about that in the terminal. So I write system.out.println parenthesis. Please input your name as the message. Now problem solved. The second thing is actually it's not an issue. You can see in previous output it gives what we input, but we can get a beautiful output using string concatenation. So I update the command like this. Then I rerun this application. Now you can see it give a message to the user, please input your name. So user can get an idea of what they need to do now. So I input the name Lucas and press enter button. Now you can see it give output as your name is Lucas. Okay, that is how to read user input as a string value. In next video, we will discuss how to read user input as an integer value. User input as an integer. Let me show you that with an example. Here, I'm going to read a person's age and display it. Before reading the person age, we need an integer variable to hold the user input. So I declare int variable, name it as age. Then I create an object of the scanner class to read user inputs like this. Next, we need to give a message to the users about what they need to do. Here we are going to read person age. So I write a message system.out.println please input your age. Right. Then I will read user input as an integer using the object of scanner class and assign that user input to age variable. The method name for read user input as an integer is next int. So I write age equal input scanner dot next int to read user input as an integer. Finally, we need to print that user input. So I write this command to get an output. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, you can see it asks your age. So, for an example, I input 23, then press enter button. Now you can see it print your age is 23. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about read user input as an integer. I hope you get an idea about how to read user inputs in Java using the scanner class. Also you can practice how to read user input as a float, as a long and double. If you got any problem when doing these practices, please let me know. I will help you to solve your problem. In the next chapter, we will discuss about conditions. What is a condition? Condition used for make decision. Java supports for usual logical conditions. For an example, less than or equal, greater than or equal to, not equal to. Okay guys, from the next video, we will discuss these logical conditions one by one. Less than condition. Let me show you an example. Imagine that there is an art competition. Person can participate to the art competition only if he is below 18 years old. Otherwise, they cannot participate to the art competition. Now I am going to write a simple Java program for this scenario. Before coding, we need to identify the flow of this scenario. Here, the ability to participate to the art competition depends on the person age. So, first of all, we need to get person age as input. Then we need to check the entered age whether it is below 18 or not. Finally, we can give an output about the ability of participation according to the age of the person. Okay, now I am going to code this scenario. First, we need to declare int variable to assign age of a person. To do that, I write int age command to declare a variable. Then I create an object of the scanner class, scanner, input scanner, equal new scanner system.in. Next, I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation. Please input your age command to display a message to the user. Then I write age equal input scanner dot next int command to read user input. Okay, now we have to decide participation ability according to the entered age. To do that, we can use less than logical operator. Also, when we make a decision, we can use if-else conditional statement in programming. I will show you how to do that. First, I write if keyword, then add parentheses. After, we can write condition between parentheses. So I write logical condition age less than 18 between the parentheses. Then add curly braces under the if condition. Here, this condition checks person age whether it is below 18 or not. If age is below 18, that person is eligible to participate to the art competition. So, if age is below 18, we can give an output as you are eligible. So, I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation you are eligible command to print an output. Here, this part represents the eligibility for the art competition, that is age is below 18 years old. So, we can use else to represent the inability of participation, which means the opposite of the age less than 18 condition. In other words, else represent the age is not below 18. If the age is not below 18, that person cannot participate to the art competition. So I write else and add curly braces under the else. And I write command system.out.println parenthesis double quotation you are not eligible to print an output. Okay, now I am going to run this application. Here you can see it says please input your age. So I input age 17. Then press enter button. Now you can see it gives the output as you are eligible. That is the correct answer. Because if a person age is below 18, that person can participate to the art competition according to this scenario. So our application print correct answer. To check that further, I rerun this application and input 20 as age. Then press enter button. After that, you can see it print you are not eligible. That is correct answer. Because if a person's age is not below 18, that person cannot participate to the art competition. So our application print correct answer. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about less than condition. In the next video, we will discuss about less than or equal condition and no equal condition. Let me show you an example. In ABC supermarket, if a customer bill amount is less than or equal to $100, they give a 5% discount. If not, that means a bill amount greater than $100, they offer 8% discount. Now we have to make a simple Java application for this scenario. Before we start coding, we should understand the flow of this scenario. You can see here discount percentage depends on the bill amount. So we need to get an input of the bill amount. Then we need to check whether the bill amount is less than or equal to $100 or not. Then we can give an output of the bill amount with an applicable discount. Okay, now I am going to code this scenario. First, I declare double variable and name it as bill amount. Then I create an object of the scanner class, scanner, input scanner, equal new scanner parenthesis system.in. Next, I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation. Please input bill amount command to display a message to the user. Next, we need to read bill amount. So I write bill amount equal input scanner dot next double command to read user input. Here you can see we used next double method to read user inputs because bill amount variable data type is double. Okay. Now we have to decide whether the bill amount is less than or equal to $100 or not. So I write if keyword, then add parenthesis and write logical condition bill amount less than or equal to $100 and add curly braces under the if condition. Here, this condition checks the bill amount is less than or equal to $100. If the bill amount is less than or equal to $100, that bill has 5% discount. So, next we need to calculate discount amount and final amount. To do that, I declare two double variable, name them as discount amount and final amount. Next, I write discount amount equal bill amount multiplied by 5 divided by 100 command line to find the discount. Then I write final amount equal bill amount minus discount amount command line to find the final bill amount. Next I write println method to display output. Okay, this part represents a bill amount is less than or equal to $100. Next we can use else to represent a bill amount not less than or equal to $100. That means bill amount greater than $100. So I write else and add curly braces under the else keyword. Then we need to calculate the bill amount. To do that, I declare two double variables again and name them as discount amount and final amount. Next I write discount amount equal bill amount multiply by 8 divide by 100 command line to calculate the discount. Then I write final amount equal bill amount minus discount amount command line to calculate the final bill amount. Finally, I write println command to print an output. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, you can see it says please input bill amount. So I input 59 as the bill amount. Now you can see it print you are eligible for the 5% discount with the final amount. That is the correct answer because according to this scenario, if the bill amount is less than $100, it has a 5% discount. So our application print correct answer. Okay, to check that further, I rerun this application. Now I input $153 as bill amount. Then press enter button. Now you can see it print you are eligible for the 8% discount with the final amount. That is correct answer because according to this scenario, if a bill amount is greater than $100, it has 8% discount. So our application print correct answer. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about less than no equal condition. In the next video, we will discuss about greater than condition and condition. Let me show you an example. Imagine that there is an exam. In this exam, a student has to get more than 50 marks to pass the exam. Otherwise, a student will fail the exam. Now we have to make a simple Java application for this scenario. Before write the algorithm, we need to get an idea about the flow of this scenario. First, we need to get an input of the marks. Then we have to decide whether a student pass or not using marks. Next, we have to print pass or fail. Okay, now I am going to code the Java program. First, I declare int variable and name it as marks. Next, I create an object of the scanner class. Then I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation. Please input your marks command to display a message to the user. Next, we can read student marks. So I write marks equal input scanner dot next int command to read marks. Now we have to decide whether a student pass or fail using the marks. Here, if the student has more than 50 marks, he will pass the exam. Otherwise, a student will fail the exam. According to this scenario, we can use greater than condition to make a decision. So I write if keyword at parenthesis, write condition as marks greater than 50 and add curly braces under the if condition. This if condition checks whether a student marks is greater than 50 or not. If a student marks is greater than 50, you can give an output as you are passed the exam. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation you pass the exam. Then I write else keyword and add curly braces under the else keyword. If a student marks is below 15, he will fail the exam. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation you fail the exam. Okay, now I run this application. You can see after run this application, it says please input your marks. So I input 34 as the marks. Then press enter button. After that, it print you failed the exam. That is correct answer. Because according to this scenario, if student marks is below 50, he will fail the exam. Okay, to check that further, I rerun this application. Then input 76 as the marks and press enter button. Now you can see it print you pass the exam. That is the correct answer. Because according to this scenario, if a student marks is greater than 50, he will pass the exam. So our application print correct answer. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about greater than condition. In the next video, we will discuss about greater than or equal condition. Greater than or equal condition. Let me show you an example. The minimum age to get a driver's license is 18 years. In this scenario, we need to do is when the user inputs his age, we need to decide whether he is eligible to get the driver's license or not using entered age. First, we need to declare a variable to hold person age. So I write int age command to declare a variable. Next, I create an object of the scanner class. Scanner input scanner equal new scanner parenthesis system.in. Okay, then I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation. Please input your age command to display a message to the user. And I write age equal input scanner dot next int command to read user input. Next, we need to decide whether age is greater than or equal to 18 or not. So I write if keyword, add parenthesis and write condition age greater than or equal 18 to decide whether age is greater than or equal to 18 or not. Then add curly braces under the if condition. Okay, this part represents the person's age is greater than or equal to 18. If a person age is greater than or equal to 18, that person is eligible to get a driver's license. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation, you are eligible for get the driver's license command to print an output. Next, I write else keyword. Then add curly braces under the else. Else represent the person age is less than 18. If a person age is less than 18, that person is not eligible to get the driver's license. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation, you are not eligible to get the driver's license command to print an output when a person age is less than 18. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, here you can see it says please input your age. So I input 16 as the age, then press enter button. Now you can see it prints you are not eligible to get the driver's license. That is the correct answer. According to this scenario, if a person age is less than 18, that person is not eligible to get the driver's license. So our application print correct answer. To check that further, I rerun this application and input 23 as the age and press enter button. Now you can see it says you are eligible for the driver's license. That is the correct answer, because if the age is greater than or equal to 18, that person is eligible to get the driver's license according to the scenario. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about greater than or equal condition. In the next video, we will discuss about equal to condition. Hello guys, welcome to Techie Jokes. In this video, we will discuss about equal to condition. Let me show you an example. We need to create a Java application to check whether a number is even or not. How do we do this? If the balance equals to 1 when a number is divided by 2, that is an odd number. But if the balance is equal to 0 when a number is divided by 2, that is an even number. Okay, how do we apply this to a program? Before code this, we need to understand the flow of this scenario. First of all, we need a number. We can get a number by user input. Then we need to find balance when the number is divided by 2. Next, we need to check whether the balance is equal to 1 or not. If the balance is equal to 1, that is an odd number. If the balance is not equal to 1, which means balance is 0, that is an even number. Okay, let's begin to code. First, I declare int variables for assign user input and name it as any number, and declare another int variable to assign balance and name it as balance. Then I create an object of the scanner class, scanner input scanner equal new scanner parenthesis system.in like this. Next I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation, please input any number command to print a message to the user. Then I write any number equal input is scanner dot next int command to read user input. Then we need to check the balance of the user entered value when divided by 2. For that, we can use the mod operator. So I write balance equal any number mod operator 2. Then add semicolon at end of the code line. Okay, now we need to decide whether the balance is equal to 1 or not. We can use if condition for that. So I write if parenthesis balance equal to 1. This symbol used for represent equal to and add curly braces under the if condition. And also this if condition represent balance equal to 1. So if the balance is equal to 1, that is an odd number. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation odd number command to print an output. Next I write else keyword and add curly braces under the else. This else represent the opposite of the if condition. That means balance not equal to 1. If the balance is not equal to 1, that is an even number. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation even number command to print an output. Okay guys, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, here you can see it says please input any number. So I input 35. Then press enter button. Now you can see it print output as odd number. That is the correct answer because 35 is an odd number. Okay, to check that further, I rerun this application and input 24. Then you can see it print output as even number. That is the correct answer because 24 is an even number. So our application print correct answer. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about equal to condition. In the next video, we will discuss about not equal to condition. Not equal to condition. Let me show you an example. On the playground, there are 2 points. Name are A and B. Displacement between A and B points is 200 meters. There are 2 children. They need to find displacement between A and B. Assume they don't know the exact displacement between A and B. Here, we need to create a simple Java application to check whether children are measuring displacement correctly using not equal condition. To do that, first we need to take an input of the displacement. Then we need to check whether displacement is not equal to 200 or not. If the displacement is not equal to 200, that is wrong displacement. So we can output as you are wrong. But if the displacement is equal to 200, that is the correct answer. So we can output as you are correct. Okay, let's begin to code this application. First, I declare an int variable and name it as displacement. Then I create an object of the scanner class like this. Next, I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation please input displacement to display a message to the user. Next, we can read user input. So I write displacement equal input is scanner dot next int to read user input. Okay, now we need to decide whether the user entered displacement is not equal to 200 or not. So I write if keyword parenthesis displacement not equal 200 condition and add curly braces under the if condition. This symbol used for represents not equal to. Also, this condition represents displacement is not equal to 200. If the displacement is not equal to 200, That is wrong answer because the actual displacement between A and B points is 200 meters. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation you are wrong to print output. Then I write else keyword and add curly braces under the else. This else represents the opposite of the if condition. That means displacement equal to 200 meters. If the displacement is equal to 200 meters, that is the correct answer because displacement between A and B is 200 meters. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation you are correct. Command to print an output. Okay, now I run this application. After run this application, you can see it says please input displacement. So I input 198, then press enter button. Now you can see it print you are wrong. That is the correct answer because actual displacement between A and B points equal to 200 meters. Okay, to check that further, I rerun this application and input 200, then press enter button. After that, you can see it print you are correct. That is the correct answer because real displacement between A and B points equal to 200 meters. Okay guys, in this video we discuss about not equal to condition. In the next video, we will discuss about nested if. Nested if. What is the nested if? Nested if means an if statement placed in another if statement. Okay, let me show you an example. Assume there is an exam. It has two papers. To pass the exam, the marks of both papers should be greater than 50. Here, we have to create a simple Java application to find pass or fail after enter marks of both papers. Before code this, we need to understand the scenario. First, we need to get inputs of marks of the both papers. Then we can choose a paper. I name it as paper 1. And we can check whether the marks of paper 1 is greater than 50 or not. If the marks of paper 1 is not more than 50, the person will fail the exam because to pass the exam, both papers have to be more than 50 marks. Okay, if the marks of paper 1 is more than 50, we need to check whether the marks of paper 2 is more than 50 or not. If the marks of paper 2 is more than 50, that means more than 50 marks on both question papers. Because we only check whether marks of paper 2 is greater than 50 or not only if marks of paper 1 greater than 50. So, the person will pass the exam. But if the paper 2 marks is not more than 50, the person will fail the exam. Because to pass the exam, both papers have to be more than 50 marks. Okay, that is the scenario. Let's begin to code this application. First, we need to declare two variables to hold marks of both papers. So I declare two int variables and name them as paper 1 marks and paper 2 marks. Then I create an object of the scanner class like this. Next I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation please input paper 1 marks to display a message to the user before read marks of paper 1. Then I write paper 1 marks equal input scanner dot next int command to read marks of the paper 1. After this, I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation please input paper 2 marks to display a message to the user before read marks of the paper 2. Then I write paper 2 marks equal input scanner dot next int command to read marks of the paper 2. Okay, now we need to check whether the marks of both papers are greater than 50 or not. Here we use nested if for that. I will show you how to do that. First, I check whether the marks of paper 1 greater than 50 or not. So I write if keyword parenthesis paper 1 marks greater than 50 condition to check whether marks of paper 1 is greater than 50 or not. Then add curly braces under the if condition. This if condition represents the marks of paper 1 greater than 50. If the marks of paper 1 greater than 50, we need to check whether marks of paper 2 greater than 50. So, I need to write another if condition in this if condition. That is the nested if. Because here we need to write if condition in another if condition. So, I write if keyword parenthesis paper 2 marks greater than 50 condition to check whether paper 2 marks greater than 50 or not. Then add curly braces under the if keyword. This if condition represents marks of paper 2 greater than 50. According to this program, if the marks of paper 2 greater than 50, the marks of paper 1 must greater than 50 because we only check whether marks of paper 2 greater than 50 or not only if marks of paper 1 greater than 50. So, if the marks of paper 2 greater than 50, he passes the exam. So I write system.out.println parentheses double quotation you pass the exam command to print an output. Then I add else under marks of paper 2 greater than 50 condition. Then add curly braces under the else and write system.out.println parentheses double quotation you fail the exam command to print an output because to pass the exam marks of both papers must be greater than 50. Next I write another else under marks of paper 1 greater than 50 condition. Then add curly braces under the else and write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation you fail the exam command to print an output because to pass the exam marks of both papers should be greater than 50. Okay, now I run this application. After run this application, you can see it says please input marks of paper 1. So I input 35 and press enter button. Next, you can see it says please input marks of paper 2. So I input 75. Then press enter button. Then it prints you fail the exam. That's correct. Because according to this scenario, to pass the exam, you must get more than 50 marks for both paper 1 and paper 2. Here I entered 35 for paper 1. That is less than 50. So he will fail the exam. Accordingly, our application print correct answer. To check that further, I rerun this application and input 78 for paper 1 marks and input 90 for paper 2 marks. Then you can see it prints you pass the exam. That is correct because here marks of both paper 1 and paper 2 are greater than 50. So our application print correct answer. Okay guys, that is the nested if. In the next chapter, we will discuss about conditional operator. Conditional operator. Okay, I will take the previous example to explain an conditional operator. Assume that there is an exam and it has two papers. To pass the exam, marks of both papers should be greater than 50. In previous video, we used nested if to make a decision. But if we use an operator for this scenario, we do not need two if condition. We can check this using single if condition. So, how to check that using single if condition? Let me show you how to do that. First, I declare two int variables and name them as paper 1 marks and paper 2 marks, and write essential code lines to read user input as previous video. Okay, now we have to check whether the marks of both papers greater than 50 or not. To pass the exam should be paper 1 marks greater than 50 and paper 2 marks greater than 50. Right, now I am going to show you how to write this in Java. So I write if keyword and add parentheses. Then I write first condition paper 1 marks greater than 50, and I write second condition paper 2 marks greater than 50. This symbol used for represent and conditional operator, and add curly braces under this if condition. Okay, this is how to check multiple conditions using and conditional operator. This if condition represents marks of both paper 1 and paper 2 greater than 50. So, if marks of both paper 1 and paper 2 are greater than 50, that person will pass the exam. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation, you pass the exam. Okay, then I write else keyword and add curly braces under the else. This else represents both paper 1 and paper 2 marks less than 50. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation, you fail the exam. Okay, now I run this application. Then you can see it says please input paper 1 marks. So I input 45 as the paper 1 marks. Then press enter button. Next you can see it says please input paper 2 marks. So I input 56 as the paper 2 marks. Then press enter button. Now you can see it print you failed the exam. That is correct, because according to this scenario, to pass the exam you must get more than 50 marks for both paper 1 and paper 2. Here I entered 45 for paper 1 marks. It's less than 50. So he will fail the exam. Okay, to check that further, I rerun this application. Then input 67 as paper 1 marks and input 89 as paper 2 marks. Then you can see it print you passed the exam. That's correct, because here marks of both paper 1 and paper 2 are greater than 50. Okay, that is the unconditional operator. In the next video, we will discuss about O conditional operator. Conditional operator. Okay, I will take the previous example to explain the O conditional operator, but I change it little bit. Assume that there is an exam and it has two papers. To pass that exam, you should get marks greater than 50 for at least one paper. You can see the difference in this question compared to previous question. Here, you no need to get more than 50 marks for both papers to pass the exam. Only you have to get more than 50 marks for at least one paper. Then you will pass the exam. Okay, let's begin to code. I write essential things as previous video to read user input. Here, to pass the exam, you should get paper 1 marks greater than 50 or paper 2 marks greater than 50. Now I will show you how to code this. First, write if keyword, then add parentheses and write first condition paper 1 marks greater than 50 or paper 2 marks greater than 50. This symbol used for represent or conditional operator, and add curly braces under the if condition. This if condition represents paper 1 marks greater than 50 or paper 2 marks greater than 50. If you have greater than 50 marks for at least one paper, you will pass the exam. So I write system.out.println parentheses double quotation, you pass the exam, command to print an output. Then I write else keyword and add curly braces under the else. This else represents you don't have greater than 50 marks for both paper 1 and paper 2. If you haven't greater than 50 marks for both paper 1 and paper 2, you will fail the exam. So I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation, you fail the exam. Command to print an output. Okay, now I run this application. Then input 38 for paper 1 marks and input 24 to paper 2 marks. Then press enter button. After that, you can see it print you failed the exam because here you haven't greater than 50 marks for at least one paper. So our application print the correct answer. To check that further, I rerun this application. Then I input 56 for the paper 1 and 28 for the paper 2. Then press enter button. After that, you can see it print you pass the exam. Yeah, that is the correct answer because if you have greater than 50 marks for at least one paper, you will pass the exam. Okay guys, that is the O conditional operator. In the next chapter, we will discuss about loops. What is a loop? Loops are used to execute same lines of code over and over again. For an example, if you want to print hello world 100 times in the console, you do not need to write 100 of println commands. You can do it using loops in few code lines. There are three types of loop in Java. For an example, for loop, while loop, do while loop. Okay, that is basic introduction about loops. From the next video, I will explain these loops type and their uses. For loop. For loop use to execute same lines of code a specific number of times. For an example, if you want to print hello world 10 times, you can use for loop for that. I will show you how to do that. For loop start with for keyword. So I write it. Then add parentheses. For loop know how many times exactly run. So first we need to initialize the starting point. So I declare int variable and name it as simple but you can give any name if you want. And I assign 0 for that because computers generally start counting from 0. But you can give any value if you want. Okay, here we need to print hello world 10 times. Also, here we started counting from 0. So, if we count from 0 to 9, there are 10 numbers. That means we want to run for loop until value of the simple I variable is less than or equal to 9. So, I write I less than or equal to 9 condition. Finally, we need to increase the value from 0 to 9. Here, we can use post increment for that. So, I add I++ like this. Okay. Then add curly braces under the for loop. Next, I write system.out.println parentheses double quotation hello world command to print an output. Okay, now I run this application. Then you can see it print hello world 10 times. Okay, now I am going to change the condition of the for loop to understand the behaviors of for loop. Assume that if you want to print hello world 5 times, you can count 0 to 4. From 0 to 4, there are 5 numbers. That means we need to run the for loop until value of the simple I variable less than or equal to 4. So I update the condition like this. Okay, to check that, I run this application. Now you can see it print hello world 5 times. Okay, next assume if you want to print numbers from 1 to 100. How to do that? You can use for loop for that. Here you want to print 1 to 100. That means the starting point is 1. So I update initial point of the for loop 0 to 1 like this. Next we need to run this for loop until the value of simple I variable is less than or equal to 100, because now we need to print 1 to 100. Okay, next I update the print command hello world to simple I like this. Simple I is the variable name used in for loop iteration. Okay, now I am going to run this application. After run this application, you can see it print 1 to 100 like this. Okay, that is the for loop. In the next video, we will discuss about while loops. If you want to run lines of code until tell to stop, you can use while loop for that. That means if you wish to run lines of code an unknown number of times until tell to stop, you can use while loop to that situation. Also, you can use a while loop to execute lines of code infinite number of times. For an example, if you want to print hello world an infinite number of times, you can use while loop for that. Let me show you how to do that. While loop is start with while keyword. So I write it, then add parentheses. If you remember, in the for loop, we initialize the starting point and declare a variable between parentheses. But in while loop, you cannot do that. You can only write the condition between parentheses. So we need to declare a variable before while loop to the condition. So I declare int variable above the while loop like this and name it as simple I and assign 0 for that. Okay, here I want to run this while loop infinite number of times. You can see the value of the simple I variable is 0. Also, here I want to run this loop until the simple I variable is less than 1. So I write condition as I less than 1. Next I add curly braces under the while. Next I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation hello world command to print hello world. Here you can see the value of simple I variable is 0 and the while loop run until the value of simple I variable is less than 1. Also, you can see we did not increase the value of simple I variable like in for loop. Therefore, the value of simple I variable will never update. That means the value of simple I variable always less than 1 because current value of simple I variable is equal to 0. So, hello world must be print an infinite number of times. To check that, I run this application. After run this application, you can see hello world print an infinite number of times and it will never end. Right, I will take another example. Suppose if you want to print hello world 10 times using while loop, how to do that? First, we need to update the condition. If we count from 0 to 9, there are 10 numbers. That means we want to run this while loop. The value of simple I variable is less than or equal to 9. So I update the condition like this. Next, we need to increase the value of simple I variable. If not, again, this loop will never end the iteration as before. So I write I++ after the println command to increase the value. Now I run this application. After run this application, you can see it print hello world 10 times like this. Okay, now we know how to iterate while loop a specific number of times. Okay, now I take another example. Suppose if you want to print 1 to 100 using while loop, how to do that? It's very simple. First, we need to change the value of simple I variable to 1. And we need to run this while loop until the value of simple I variable is less than or equal to 100. So, I update the condition like this. Next, I update the println command hello world to simple I. Next, I run this application. Now you can see it print 1 to 100 like this. Okay guys, that is the while loop. In the next video, we will discuss about do while loop. Do while loop likes while loop, but there is a small difference between them. The difference between them is in while loop, first check the condition, then run the lines of code in the body of the loop. But in do while loop, first run the lines of code in the loop's body, then check the condition. Let's see what this means. Here you can see I assign 1 to simple I variable. Then I use condition as I less than 1. In the while loop, first check the condition. The condition is I less than 1. Also, the value of simple I variable is 1. So, that is not less than 1. Therefore, the loop will not run. That means hello world does not print. Now, I will show you how to code and how to work this in the do while loop. So, first I declare int variable and name it as simple I. And I assign 1. Do while loop is start from do keyword. So I write do keyword and add curly braces under the do keyword. After close curly braces, I write while keyword and add parentheses like this. Then I write condition as I less than 1 and add semicolon at end of the code line. Then I write system.out.println parenthesis double quotation hello world command to print an output. Okay, now I run this application. Now you can see it prints hello world, but the condition is I less than 1. So how did it print? Here what happened is in the do while loop, first run the lines of code in the loop's body, then check the condition. According to that, here first run the println command, then check the condition. That is why it prints hello world even the value of simple I variable is 1. Okay, that is the do while loop. So if you want to check the condition before run the lines of code in loop body, you can use while loop. But if you want to check the condition after running the lines of code in the loop's body, you can use do while loop. It depends on your requirement. Okay guys, in this video we discussed about do while loop.